there are many choices in internet radio, and the staff and host of LA Talk Live would like to thank you for choosing the internet's hottest destination for the most eclectic sound and invigorating talk. This is LA Talk Live. We are more than just talk.
Reaching out to the four corners of the globe and broadcasting to you live from the studios of LA Talk Live in beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, California, in the amazing Paradise Building. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live again this week. Welcome to tonight's live episode of The Marijualogist, the world's only show that gets to the root of the medical cannabis industry from a political, social, medical, economical, and now ecological point of view. That's right, we are embracing the concept of how cannabis can help the ecology. It's a boom industry. It's growing. It's here to stay. Half the nation has said yes to cannabis through either its medical or recreational use. For whatever reason, let the weed be free. That's our motto for tonight. Let the weed be free. I'm your humble host, Richard Karr, joined as always by my esteemed colleague, Ikkor the Wolf. Oh, woo! He's in conference right now. With our special guest who's going to be joining us live in the studio. We've also got a very special guest joining us via Skype tonight. We're going to open up our phone lines a little bit earlier because we're going to be in open forum as we explore the impact of cannabis on LA, on California, and on the entire globe. This is the one and only Marijualogist live tonight. Don't go away. Tell your friends to go to americatalklive.com. That's where we're broadcasting from tonight, americatalklive.com, and you can always go to latalklive.com. Hey, we're on your mobile phone. All you've got to do is launch your favorite mobile web browser and go to americatalklive.com. It's not even an app anymore. People keep asking me, why don't you get an app? What do we need an app for? Just go to the site. That's all you got to do. You know how to use the web. We're going to take a quick break as we always do. We'll come back with our very special studio guest as we await our Skype guest. Will be joining us at about halfway through the first part of the show. Ikkor the Wolf, Richard Karr, and our special studio guest tonight. Live edition of The Marijualogist. Don't go away. Tell your friends. latalklive.com, americatalklive.com, the world leader in internet broadcasts, the Talk Live Broadcast Network, and we will be right back.
Hi, this is Shalon Douglas, inviting you to join us every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, to demo your startup on air with a Pitch Live to Win syndicated digital broadcasting show. Join us as we share real conversations from real industry experts within the tech, education, media, and entertainment industries for your chance to win opportunities that will gain you access to resources, exposure, and capital. So remember to tune in to the Pitch Live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio, R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio. Or watch us and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality broadcast handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Hi, this is Rhonda Ray, inviting you to join us every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, for Hot Chicks Live. Join us as we discuss the latest fashion, entertainment, sports, and more. So don't forget to tune in to Hot Chicks Live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV radio, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Don't give me no Bammer weeds. We don't smoke that shit in a SLC. Don't give me no Bammer weeds. We don't smoke that shit in a SLC. Don't give me no Bammer weeds. We don't smoke that shit in a SLC. Don't give me no Bammer weeds. We don't smoke that shit in a SLC. 3, 2, 1, coming in with the bang. 2 dark-skinned niggas on a motherfucking.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's live episode of the Marijualogist, live from the studios of LA Talk Live and the Talk Live Broadcast Network, here in Pioneer Land when it comes to the cannabis movement and the cannabis industry. So much great progress started right here in this great state, California, and certainly spread throughout the country and replicated itself to show that there is a way to provide safe and legal access to cannabis to those who want it, who need it, who find medicinal benefit and relief in it. You know our story. We've been broadcasting this message since 2009. We've had our hiatuses. We're back live as often as we can be, but most importantly, with all the archives we have out there, you can always go back and watch one of the great shows that we've done in the past. But tonight we've got a fresh new show for you. Before I get to my guest and my co-host, in the background, shout to RBL Posse, a little track they call Bammer Weed. And I've often said that speaks to the vast opportunities that are available in the medical cannabis industry. That's right. If you're a musician, there are cannabis patients and cannabis consumers who would appreciate you making some music just for them. All right. So that said, let me now swing the mic to my esteemed colleague, Ikkor the Wolf, who joins us each and every week here on the Marijualogist. Let's give him a round of applause.
What up, though, out there? People out there in the world, all over the globe. We know y'all out there. We appreciate y'all tuning in to the Marijualogist.
Now,
yes.
Yep. So let's get a quick update on what's going on in the industry from your perspective. I know that you are good friends with lots of fine collectives that have proliferated the city of Los Angeles in particular, where we broadcast from. Tell us a little bit about what you're seeing from the medical cannabis dispensary point of view.
Well, what I definitely am seeing and experiencing is more and more collectives are rising. They're being erected more and more, and it's that you know that the wave is here. It's been coming. Huh?
It's not stopping.
It's not stopping. It's here. You know, people are being medicated, and from this new Green Cross, the new medicinal Green Cross, and that segue into the Green Cross that this gentleman here has on, and I myself have on, and which is a sponsor of this show, greencrosses.com.
Let's give them a round of applause. Big up to Green Crosses for your sponsorship. Yes. We need that. We are. And
so I've been like I said, they've been popping up, and I've also been solicited in a good way to actually become a manager at actually multiple dispensaries that are getting ready to be erected.
Getting job offers,
like a regional director for a couple of different dispensaries, you know. So that's on the table right now.
Respect.
Yeah, respect. So I go
nice.
and each time that I go into different collectives, you know, I always go in and I study like unobtrusively while I'm actually dealing with them, because I am a patient, 420 patient. I go in there. Of course, I converse with them. You know, interact. I speak about the different strains and the levels of it, because I am a vendor as well, you know. But I'm going in there to get like a lot of lessons as well, because I still am on the other side of the glass window, you know, glass counter, I should say. But also got my foot in the door on the other side, because I also do delivery service as well. So I'm in it. Basically, I'm in it, but I'm in it to win it, most definitely. But I go into the collectives, you know, because I'm still a patient, and sometimes I might be out, or my the people that I vend for or whatever might not have whatever at the time. So I still go ahead and partake in the collectives and share the wealth with them.
There's nothing wrong with supporting the collectives. Let's keep that real.
Not at all. Not at all, because I've been to some decent ones. I've been to some ones that I'm like, you know, I don't think I'll come back here anymore. You know, I don't want to disclose any names. I don't want to kill off their clientele.
Exactly.
or
No need
whatever.
for that. And the
No-
fact
no
of the
need-
matter
no
is
need
you
for
get
that.
in where you fit in when
No
it
need for
comes
that.
to the
Exactly.
cannabis industry. It's no less. It's no different from any other business enterprise you engage in. You have your ups, your downs. You have your
Exactly.
good ones. You have your bad ones. You
have
know,
the decent ones, the mediocres.
right.
You know.
Even chain franchises encounter that same reality
But
because it's a business.
I was great to tell you
Depends
that.
on the owner.
You said the key word. The operative word was that's reality. So that went to show me that was reality. That everything that glitters not gold, everything that has a green cross on it is not just the ultimate, but they all have the same product in there, which is the marijuana flower and whatever else that comes with the culture, you know. But overall, I've been to some that I'm like, you know, I don't think I'll come back here. You know, I have one where they didn't have my first time patient gift or whatever I should get, donation.
Wow,
I mean,
really?
They didn't have it. And then they supposedly marked my name in the computer. This is one in Compton. I should say that city.
All right.
You know, but they
Shout out to Compton.
Shout out to Compton. That's
City
one of
of
my hubs,
Compton.
the hub city, and I love Compton because I used to live there.
Let's play basketball there.
No doubt. And I used to live there for I still live there. I work out there, Ghetto Fitness, you know. But they didn't. The guy supposedly had typed in my name and everything to receive mine the next time I come in. So I went in there a few days later, after working out. I go in there, and the guy said it was another worker there. He said, "Oh man, no, I don't see nothing, no notation, anything in here." Well, he didn't use the word notation, but he was like, "I don't see anything in here," you know. I said, "Come on, man," and I just started breaking it down to him and everything what was going on. Then I spoke about the radio station to him, the broadcast network, I should say, and he said, "Yeah, I did hear about that." I said, "So therefore, I'm letting you know some validity of what I'm speaking on." But he said, "I can't give you no your free one because I don't see your name in the computer that they said that they was going to do that for you." I was like, "Okay, no problem." I won't be going there no more.
Right. It's
You know.
all about customer service. It's no different from going to any other department store, and
Exactly.
some are good, some are bad,
That's
even
the
if they're
reality of it.
chains.
And that's the reality of it. That they all, you know, that's what you're going to get. What you get, you're going to deal with that. And it's going to always be different levels of the game. So
All right, so I think we've done enough yapping. I want to get to our very special guest tonight. I'm going to ask you to do the introduction. I will say that I want to welcome and give a rousing round of applause to Timothy Theory. Welcome to the show.
I was getting ready to do it like this intro.
thank you.
I was getting ready to do like this big Michael Buffer type intro. You know?
Take it from here.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. I wish we had some music to go with that. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, coming from the upper part of California, Northern California, deep within somewhere parts unknown California, we have the undisputed, the myth, the legend, the man. You out there watching Chelsea Bonobo? You watching Chelsea Raw? The man. Brrr, here's Tim Double T Squared T 2 times Theory.
Oh, wow.
Tim Theory, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the LA Talk Live. Welcome to the Marijualogist, Mr. Tim Theory. Give it up for everybody
Wow,
out there.
thank you
Y'all
very
can clap
much,
for him in
man.
y'all
Welcome.
living rooms out there on y'all cell phones and computers. Clap for this man.
Very honored to be here, to be invited to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Thank you for blessing us with your presence, man. Thank you for blessing us with your presence.
Hey, let's get her done.
Let's get it done. So where is this all up? So first question is, first and foremost, like I said in the intro, you came from way up north somewhere. Would you like to disclose the part of up north where you come from, or where you live, rather, I should say?
Yeah, I live in Trinity County,
Okay.
where it's up in Northern California. I'm from down here, San Diego area. I moved up there. Excuse me.
Take your time.
Yeah, I bought some land up there for, $5,800. I bought 5 acres back in '97, and
You hear that?
I
Rick?
sold some. I built a house and sold it, and then I bought some more property. But anyways, that's
58.
irrelevant. That's not what I'm here talking about. But
It's good. Though. We wanna hear
basically,
that.
it's considered the Emerald Triangle. You might have heard of it.
If y'all haven't, check it out. Google it. The Emerald Triangle.
But that's where I've been. I've been a landowner up there for 17, 18 years now. So that's where that's going to be, where my that's my PhD, I guess you could say.
All right, so Tim, we told you we wouldn't put you on the spot and have you do all the talking. We're not going to turn the mic over to you because, of course, Ikkor and I have been studying this industry,
Yes, thank
this
you.
movement, whatever the case may be, for a long time now. We've got copious questions, but right now we have a caller who has been very patient. I want to bring that caller on the line. Caller, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us here on the Marijualogist. What is your name
Welcome,
and where are
caller.
you calling from?
Welcome.
It's an honor. I'm calling from New York State,
Okay.
Western New York.
All right.
Yo, New York in
right.
the building. Yo.
Shouts to the East Coast. Shout out
East
to
Coast.
NewYorkTalkLive.com, BrooklynTalkLive.com.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's a little late there, too.
Yeah.
Did your mom know you're up this late?
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes.
Cancer took my mom.
Oh, okay. Wow, bummer.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
It took
sorry
my
to hear
father as well.
Well, when perhaps we can make that an interesting part of our dialogue tonight, because
Yeah.
the concept of cancer,
Yeah.
so much cancer, it seems, around us all. Let's keep it real. It's almost epidemic, it seems. It seems everybody I know has someone in their family who has cancer,
Yeah.
or who has already passed from cancer. Let's talk about
Multitudes.
cancer, particularly as it relates to cannabis, because let's keep it real. Cancer was one of the first areas of research where medicinal cannabis, cancer was one of the first areas of research where medicinal cannabis proved beneficial, even if it was just to guard against wasting disease, which is where you don't want to eat. So you ingest some cannabis and it makes you hungry, particularly if you smoke it. That's ingestion through the lungs, of course, not the best way at all. But even if it just makes you hungry, even if you're eating a brownie and that brownie has the side effect of helping reduce your pain as a cancer patient and give you a good night's sleep. So perhaps cancer should be a part of what we're going to discuss, because I know we've got Tim Theory here, and he's got some important information. I want to pun the word. Oh, he's got some theories on. No, but he's got some real life case studies of how cannabis has been effective in the lives around him. Please speak to that, Tim.
And you're talking to one of my friends right now on the phone.
And once again, what is your name, please?
Danielle.
Danielle. We didn't catch that the first time. Danielle, you have a story to tell us. Is that right?
Yes, she does.
I do. I was a very sick girl. It started out before I had met Tim. I was having all sorts of rare infections that I would need to be hospitalized and put in intensive care for. I would have to have PICC lines, and it was a mess. I was a really, really sick person. It started with a butterfly rash, and they weren't sure exactly if that butterfly rash and the infections were what they thought was lupus.
Right.
So I traveled out to Baltimore, Maryland for help, because the doctors had said they didn't think that I would make it that far. They didn't think I'd make it out to Baltimore. I was in rough shape. Out in Baltimore, Maryland, they tested me for everything under the sun, including snake venom. They ended up diagnosing me with, would you like those diagnoses?
Yes.
By all means. The mic is all yours.
Depression, panic attacks, anxiety, PTSD, HPV, rare infections, chronic infections, Raynaud's, connective tissue disease, fibromyalgia, chronic osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. And that is when, shortly after, I met Tim. And Tim told me he would help me. I ended up praying very hard, putting all my faith into God. And sure enough, this man sent me some medicine, and I didn't actually know what it was. I just put all my faith in God and said, it has something to do with cannabis. I know it's going to save my life, or it's going to help me at least. This man says, yeah, I'm going to love him after it's all over and said. Well, I ended up losing my oil throughout all of this I had to have a hysterectomy. And 8 days after my hysterectomy, 3 days on the oil, I was healed. I wasn't healed. I wasn't completely healed, but I woke up that next morning and I'd never felt so alive. I never felt so healthy. 3 weeks, 3 weeks out on the out of my hysterectomy, 2 weeks on the oil. I was out mowing my yard, my huge yard. 4 weeks out of my full hysterectomy, ovaries included, I went to the doctor's, and he was a little shocked because after my exam from having a full hysterectomy with my ovaries included, he'd never seen somebody look so good and heal completely after having emergency surgeries and numerous previous incidents of being told that I was going to die. I lost the oil, the second batch of oil that came, and it was 3 weeks off of the oil. My body quickly overreacted. What was going on was my organs were eating each other, and they were just going to town and attacking each other. And I developed a mass on my breast, spots around the mass, an infection in the mass, and then I could feel them also going up under my underarms. The doctor scheduled me for an MRI because we couldn't see them in ultrasound, but we could feel them. So she scheduled the ultrasound, and I never went back to have it, the MRI. She scheduled the MRI, and I never went back to have it because the oil came, I treated myself, and I haven't looked back at a doctor since I met Tim.
Nice.
That is a okay. Round of applause for that. Hold on.
Nice.
All right. Yeah. Audience got real excited for that. That's a fascinating story. Had you ever used cannabis before, recreationally, medicinally? You don't have to reveal that. That is, in fact, a that's
in fact a great question.
That's a patient.
You can ask me that. That's
privilege.
fine.
He did ask you.
Yes, I did not. I studied pharmaceutical with a doctor in pharmaceutical, so I knew that it was important to stay away from, or I understood that I needed to stay away from the pharmaceuticals. I knew enough where I had seen all the girls in my small town. They were all addicted, having their children taken away. I was a single mom raising 3 kids. So I knew that it was important that I had to make the best decisions for them.
Right.
3 years ago, when it literally got out of control and I didn't want to turn to pain pills and all of that mess, and refusing the chemotherapy, I did decide to smoke instead. So yes, recreational, I would smoke, I was smoking for pain control up until my answered prayers came and I found oil that I had no idea was out there.
I wanted Tim to lean into the mic here and get into this conversation and tell us a little bit about how some of the things you've done with cannabis could help someone like this.
Help someone like her?
Her, yourself. You have your own story to tell as well.
I had no idea it was going to be so dramatic, to tell you the truth. It was just that I did some research, and I was like, hey, this should work.
Now, when I asked what you do with the cannabis without divulging any information you don't wish to share, people think cannabis, always avoid using the word weed, marijuana, herb, all those references. I believe, and this is just my belief, I'm not proselytizing, but people can have their opinions about those elements of this mighty plant and how it's been represented throughout our society, demonized and otherwise. But when you think of cannabis, people only think of the flower, and because we often refer to it as weed or marijuana or pot and all these what I consider to be derogatory or at least misleading references.
Right.
It was some of that same language that caused this mighty plant to be placed in a Schedule II classification by the government. So I always like to respect the plant genus, I think would be the reference for it, or at least the the term I like to use, which is cannabis. Now, but you take it to another level, and this is why I wanted to set this up. And when I said what you do with it and how you're able to help people with it without having to give them, flour to smoke, which isn't always the best way for most people who are especially, challenged when it comes to their health. Can you speak to that? What are you offering? We talk about the oils.
Basically what it started as.
Talk about oils.
The oils, okay, the concentrates. When you smoke pot, you are destroying the most of the medicine it's in it. Basically, it started out like this. I saw this movie called Run From the Cure, the Rick Simpson story. You can go on YouTube and type that in the search engine, and you can see all these testimonies. Basically, that guy saved or helped 5,000 people. And got in trouble for it. Had to flee Canada and go to Europe. Right. So I studied that, and then in 2012 I fell headfirst from a second floor, and I busted my arm.
Closer to your microphone, please.
Yeah, I busted my arm, and I have a 12-inch plate, 12 screws and 30 staples in there inserted, and I started the cannabis oil, and I was paralyzed originally, and then by week 7 after my operation, I rode 300 miles on my mountain bike. Also, I quit my pain pills 3 days after my operation, which is a huge.
So what both of you are describing in your use of the medicinal aspects of this mighty plant, cannabis, is rapid and dramatic relief and recovery.
It was 3 days. It took about 3 days, and this medicine is just not any normal medicine. Rick Simpson oil is a very spiritual medication. It opens your third eye. We all have third eyes.
Believe it.
So this medication is extremely important, especially for like our Christians and our faith holders out there. And I think this was a lot of a hidden agenda, basically, because how much and how far the extent of recovery is. Leukemia with this medication is a very quick fix. There's lots and lots of studies done, just not by the right people. It's important that people understand the effects of this and how powerful of a medicine this is, and it's never killed anybody doing it.
It's nothing but an oil, it's an oil
that you make yourself.
Well, I want to talk about that. We're going to go to a quick break real quick.
We missed the 420 break.
Yeah, we sure did. That's okay. This is certainly a most compelling conversation. And
sure is.
And we can always take that break. Hey, you listen to the Marijualogist, incredible guest. We're going to open up our phone lines coming up after the break. The number to call, 323-473-3100,
323-473-3100.
There it is, all in trilogy. We'll be right back. More great conversation with the Marijualogist and crew. Don't go away.
Journey to survival. Journey, the fittest of the fittest shall survive. Watch out for the step that you take. Decisions, you better check all the ones that you make, or you're gonna shake and bake. In the fiery lake, you're gonna shake and bake. In the fiery lake, you're gonna shake and bake. In the fiery lake, you're gonna shake and bake. In the fiery lake,
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm your host. I am WDC. Tune in to WDC Radio on LA Talk Live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for sickle cell trait awareness, lupus, bullying, mental health, and all different aspects of life. So tune in to WDC Radio right here on LA Talk Live. Also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Live 365, YouTube, and Ustream. And don't forget Apple TV and Roku right here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. Shout us out. What's the count?
Hi, this is Rhonda Ray, inviting you to join us every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, for Hot Chicks Live. Join us as we discuss the latest fashion, entertainment, sports, and more. So don't forget to tune in to Hot Chicks Live every Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on latalklive.com. You can also catch us on iTunes Radio R&B, Live 365, Radio Flag, TuneIn Radio, AHA Radio, TiVo Radio, and Apple TV Radio, or watch and listen directly at latalklive.com. Reality radio handcrafted for your listening and viewing pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we are more than just talk.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
They're still going to remove from society many of our more annoying citizens permanently. First group, drug addicts. Not all of them don't get nervous. Not going to bother first offenders. People deserve a chance to clean up. Everyone will get 12 chances to clean up. 15, that's fine, and that's it. You can't make it in 15 tries off.
And here we go, y'all. Welcome back to the show. In the background, a little something by Big Blizz called Legalize. Welcome back to the Marijualogist. Of course, the voice of George Carlin on that track right there, man. He must have paid a lot of money for that. One of the most brilliant comedians in the globe, George Carlin, indeed. So we're back. It seems that the topic has chosen itself for tonight's episode of the Marijualogist. We have people in our studio who have used cannabis very effectively and and got rapid and dramatic results from its application in ways more than just smoking it. See, that's what I want to get through to people. It ain't just about a bunch of people sitting around smoking pot and laying around on the couch. You know, educate yourself. Even if you're not into cannabis and if you're not interested, that's fine. But if you're tuned in, that's what we're here to do. We want to educate you and let you know it really ain't just about, you know, stoners. And this is not even a stoner show. We don't even, you know, medicate on this show. Even though we are at liberty to do so, we don't, because in deference to our use of cannabis as a medicine, hey, I don't follow you around in your house waiting for you to take those Tylenol. I don't follow you around your house waiting for you to use those addictive eye drops. I don't follow you around your house waiting for you to pop, you know, any pills or any medicines or cold medicines or, you know, dispense it to your child. I don't need to see you medicate no more than you need to see me medicate. So I think that's a very private thing, at least it is for me. And this is why we don't medicate on the show. We don't want to represent cannabis as everything we do. We just got to have it in the air. And I want to make that clear to folks as we continue with this show, as we push on to bring you information, knowledge, insight, get you out of that mindset that it's all about just getting high. No, there are real patients, real survivors who have in fact used cannabis for more than just getting high. We have Tim Theory in the studio, lovely lady on the Skype line calling all the way from New York. Please give our audience your name again, please.
Danielle.
Danielle, welcome, and thank you for holding through the break there. I want to swing the mic now to Ikkor.
Yes.
And have you guys converse a little bit more. But I'd really like you to talk about the aspect of the oil. And I think it's important in deference to all parties involved for us not to talk about the concept of distribution either, unless it relates to someone who wants to identify themselves as a distributor, or not a distributor, but at least a compassionate caregiver is what we call it in the industry,
right,
and what you should call it out there. These are folks who procure the medicine and make it available, safe and legally, to the patient. But other than that, let's leave off any discussion about source and stuff like that in deference to everyone's privacy, even though we are a show where we're free to speak and say what we want. You know,
Still
freedom ain't free.
Right.
The first cost of freedom is self-governance. So with that in mind, I want to swing the mic back to Ikkor, and once again, Danielle, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And of course, big ups to Tim Theory. Came a long way to come down here to talk about this. Please discuss the oils.
So yeah, Miss Danielle, first and foremost, you said you were working side by side with a pharmaceutical doctor or a company, whatever, earlier. You spoke on that?
Yes, I did.
So,
I studied with a doctor in pharmaceutical. His name is... Do you need his name? Do you want his name?
No, not.
No.
I mean, no, you don't necessarily have
it's-
to. You don't. It's not important to say his name.
I mean, unless you want to
He
give it.
actually owned his own pharmaceutical company, and he got out of it. He got out of it, and he started teaching a network marketing company and became a multimillionaire doing that.
Right.
Using, it was Melaleuca. My ex-husband and I would travel
Melaleuca
up to
oil?
his home. We would travel up to his home, and we would study, and he would study this network marketing. And as he was doing that, I was paying attention to all the pharmaceuticals he was coming out of, because I had planned on going to nursing school, and that was my passion.
Right.
And I learned a little more than what I probably needed to.
Right. So, when the first and foremost up here, you know, we bring in a lot of different knowledgeable people. I really won't want to call them experts, but knowledgeable people. And we have coined a phrase up here that we really start speaking when it comes to pharmaceutical companies. We call it the pharmaceutical companies. You know what I mean? Just take that P off. They're pharmaceutical companies.
As Dr. Scavone would tell me, and he's the doctor I studied with, doctors only practice.
That's
they
what
don't
we
know.
are. They practice. That's all they're doing is practicing. You know,
practice.
They treat symptoms only.
That's it. That's it.
They're treated. They're educated to learn treatments to medicine.
That's it.
Which medicine fits well with their symptoms.
Not cures. Exactly.
Pharmacia.
Exactly. So it's almost like band-aiding. You know, you're just band-aiding a symptom or band-aiding a body. You know, a body. Because my lady right now, she is dealing with lung cancer, right, and it's spreading to her brain and everything. So it's really like taking a toll on her.
Mother guinea pig.
Right. But exactly. But I won't even allow that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I've been working on it myself, and
No, we're gonna. I think you're gonna have some luck with that.
oh yeah, no doubt. I've been working on it myself, and I've also been going to like different clinics in alternative and holistic ways, and it's amazing what's happening. You know, and this is only in 5 days, and she still have a long road ahead of her, but you still see the results because it's natural. It's natural things, you know. And you just see the results in her certain movements. But I had to get her to understand that you've been dealing with this ailment. Yes, you are sick, you know, but you've been dealing with this longer than the period of these clinics that I'm taking to, because we deal with like doing like ozone therapy, you know, oxygen therapy. A lot of people aren't up on oxygen therapy, you know, and that right there alone is it's beautiful. Because that's killing off a whole bunch of anaerobic diseases that are not supposed to thrive. You know, it's just basic air that they're not going to talk about and tell us. You know,
well, cancer is kind of like a fungus, or is a fungus, and it doesn't live in a
oxygenated
environment, and it doesn't like a alkaline environment. So when you drink and eat all those foods that you see on the commercials on TV, you're going to be acidic. You know, all that sugar and soda pop. I don't even drink soda pop.
I don't either.
It's not good for you.
It's
so
got metals in it as well.
Basically, you want to drink water and
good
water. Juice, maybe some organic milk. I don't know. Maybe you don't want to, whatever.
Lemons in your water, just alkaline your water.
And good old beer, and tea, whatever. But I stay away from soda pops because all that sugar, there's like 12 teaspoons of sugar per can. And then all that sugar makes your body acidic. Now, I've done some research also, and we're talking about
lactic acid,
some stuff here, and I wanted to mention goji berries. Okay?
Oh man, speak on it, because I just learned about the goji berry the other day. And I saw a study on it. Oh my God! Just the effects of how the blood was so stacked up, looking like nickels and on a stack of nickels, coins.
Yep. And
just to say that the initial application of this goji berry,
couple ounces
inside of this person's body, they had the two screens going at one time,
all around for them.
Oh my God, what it did! So people out there, the goji berry, check it out. Go YouTube your blood on goji.
Your blood on goji. Go to YouTube and type that in.
Now, what I have to do now is just find.
Well,
you were talking about the goji.
Yeah, I was talking about drinking my Shega tea.
What's that?
I said I'll go to the goji tree or goji. I'll go eat the gojis while I'm eating or drinking my Shega tea.
I gotta get some goji like ASAP.
Yeah,
the Shega tea will reduce the tumors and the masses in the cyst as well.
It's called what tea?
It goes along great with RSO.
What kind of tea?
Green tea?
Shega.
Shega, how do you spell that? SH?
CHAGA, is it?
Shega. CHAGA, Shega, okay.
It's a mushroom, is it, Tim? Do you guys have them out
shishaki,
there? I don't
like
know where they grow or...
Shishaki tea or fermented mushroom tea kind of thing?
Yes, it's delicious. I had a herbalist send it to me. It was very good.
I've heard good stuff about
There's so many different things. Like you heard of chaparral?
Do what?
Yeah, chaparral.
Yeah, I've heard of chaparral extract. I've heard of people curing themselves with chaparral extract.
And if people had chemotherapy, whatever, you take that, it's going to pull the chemo out of it.
I even gave my dog one time chaparral extract back in 2005
The tincture?
or 6,
it was a tincture?
But it didn't really do anything.
It didn't?
No.
But you probably had it with like Paul Diarco and like some aged garlic in it. And what else?
I read though that this old man, he was hanging around where there was chaparral, and he was doing something with it, like making an extract, and his cancer cured himself, and he was fine. And then he moved away from the chaparral area, and his cancer came back, and he died. It was just something I read like 10 years ago.
Right.
I just happened to remember.
I read a study. Well, I got a study where the lady had I had a friend that told me that her friend mother passed away from cancer, but had it for so long. Then she was on all these, on the herbals and everything. Everything was gone, and then she had left one tumor or something that was by the anal, by the anal tumor. And she said, but she didn't want to cut that particular one. And what they said wasn't going to really harm her, so she lived like an extra 9 years. But it came back in that area, because other than that, she would have had to wear a colostomy bag. So she said, no, just leave that one. I can deal with the one, But other than that, it came back. And so, but 9 years later, she passed from the cancer, But my thing is, I just believe that we're supposed to just be old, poop dust, and die. Your motor just go out. You know what I mean? Not from some ailment, just natural cause. Like, I'm done. Not just like I'm suffering and then I'm done.
Wow.
That's
we shouldn't have to suffer.
No.
Hey guys, let's pause it right there. We've got another caller calling in from the 917.
New York.
Caller, are you with us? Thank you for joining us here on the Marijualogist. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Hi,
and you've got to turn your radio down in the background, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Turn your sound down a little bit.
This is Chelsea Raw.
Hello, Chelsea Raw. How are you?
Tim's sister.
Well, welcome to the show. Calling all the way from the big city.
This is how Tim. Let's give up some big props to you, because you're the reason that Tim is here, and we thank you for that. The extension,
indeed.
The initial extension to Tim. That's great.
You're right. Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope a lot of good comes from that.
Oh yeah.
People can find Tim on Twitter at Timothy Theory right now, and I'm at Raw Princess. I do have a question for Tim, if I could ask that.
Sure. Ask on. Shoot it.
Hey, Tim, you said that you were talking about, I don't even know how to pronounce it, apoptotics and neuroprotectants?
Yes.
Could you maybe speak to that a little bit, and the commercial licensing?
Okay. Apoptosis means cancer cell death, basically, and it can happen just from eating okra, or he can do it from. It just isn't exclusively marijuana or cannabis oil thing. It's apoptotic or an apoptotic is something that kills cancer cells, and a neuroprotectant. It basically you have like cannabinoid receptors, and then what happens is the CBDs go in there, and they're it's Tim, it's basically an amazing process.
Tim, I know that some of this is so natural to you, and so ingrown and organic to you, but for many of our listeners out there, I'd like to say we've talked about the topic of the brain's built-in endocannabinoid system.
There you go. You just named it.
Right, exactly. And I know that some of our listeners may find that hard to believe, that your body was hardwired with cannabinoid receptors in the brain.
We're past cannabinoids in our breast milk. We pass those to our children. In our breast milk, we have cannabinoids. Yep. We have those, and we give those to our babies through breast milk. That's why breast milk is so important to our children. And then when they switch from that, guess what we switch to?
What?
Chemicals.
Acid.
Formula.
All chemicals.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Tim could talk a little more about that and about some things going on in California next year.
Okay, well, a little bit more about that. The neuroprotectant part is when it protects your nerves, okay? I have a permanently injured pelvic girdle and strap, so my spine rests crookedly on my pelvis, which causes pinched nerves, and I had a muscular atrophy. I couldn't walk for 2 weeks in 2006. So I get pinched nerves if I don't have the cannabis oil. And if I do get it, it would sometimes last weeks. But now that I take the oil, it goes away in 24 hours and doesn't come back for months. Or it won't come back at all.
I need to eat me a piece of that.
You certainly added some clarity to me, Tim, because I see you over there squirming in that chair. We got a better one for you when we go to the break, man.
All right.
And I've known all of that. We set you up with a better chair.
He deals with what I deal with,
Really. Let's talk about yours as well, Ikkor.
Yeah, because
you're dealing with some
I deal with some major issue back pains and pinched nerves in the top of my neck, and I have a bone that's like misaligned on the left lower side of my back, which has my pelvic like raised. My right side is down and my left side is up. When I lay in the bed straight, I'm not really straight. I'm like sideways, diagonal in the bed. I can't like lay on my stomach. I can't just lay straight on my back. I gotta have my legs crossed or one leg up or a side. The pain that I get up here. Sometimes I can sit too long and then my neck will get so stiff where I have to like relax and then bend, because I just can't bend it straight. If fast like that, I would have to like sit and bend, because I feel like a hot cord is in my neck, a real hot cord.
Pull your mic a little closer, please.
It's like a real hot cord is in my neck, and it just feels so uncomfortable. Then my lower back feels like somebody's pulling down on it all day, like somebody just holding around my waist and just hanging on it. That's
Breathe the weed.
That's how heavy it is.
Well, you need some cannabis oil.
Yep.
Let's talk about how that would help him. Cannabis oil. Now, this is
because I'm not getting surgery.
This is administered sublingually.
Yeah.
It's a sublingual oil.
You eat it.
No,
really?
No.
You ingest
There's
it.
many routes to this medicine. You can use it as suppository method. You can use it orally. You can make nasal mist and use it for the nares for brain tumors. You can use it vaginally.
I need that one because my lady has brain tumors.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Please continue. A woman's period.
You said you can use it vaginally.
The suppository route is second to IV with this medicine.
Wow.
It's very, 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 very powerful medicine.
Now, let's talk about side effects. Tim, who wants to start?
You can take that one, buddy.
Okay, my side effect is shit. I'm hungry.
It's a gateway drug to the fridge.
I'm hungry, right? I'm a zombie. I need pizza. Forgive me for wanting a sandwich.
Ladies, one at a time. What are the side effects?
Actually, there really is. Your body builds tolerance to this medicine. So if, as Tim was telling me when I first started this, he says, go slow. Well, I ate a pin drop at first. Well, the third night I thought, well, I'm ready to go up to a half a grain of rice of this stuff. Well, before I knew it, I'm having my fiance call Tim and say, hey, what if she ate a half grain of rice? She's not going to die, is she? And Tim just kind of laughs, and he goes, no, she's going to be fine. Well, I spun around, like I had the spins, and I immediately, like, sat up, and I was sick. I mean, I couldn't even get to the bathroom. It was that bad. I just stood up, and out came, and it was just like poison releasing from my body, but extremely harsh in a way, and I felt absolutely amazing. In fact, that was the next morning that I woke up and I posted on my Facebook wall and said, for the first time in 33 years, I feel normal.
Wow. All right, so
it's awesome.
Okay, well, where can I find the spray for the?
Okay,
yeah,
round of applause for that. All right.
All right. Where can I find that mist? I mean, how can you find the mist for the brain tumors? You know,
you can make it yourself.
Okay.
You go down and just buy a normal saline at the pharmacy, and then you would add your oil to that. And there's many sites out there that teach you how to do this kind of stuff.
You see, there are many sites.
I've
probably all over YouTube.
There's many Facebook walls, that teach this.
So let me ask this. Now I'm a little confused. You're saying this is an oil, but you're saying it's not administered sublingually. What is this, in a capsule?
You can buy capsules. I eat the oil just the way it is.
So it is just straight.
How does it taste?
Oil.
Like weed?
Yes.
It is just straight oil. And you have
oil.
a dropper dispenser. Is that how you do it, or is it like honey? Do you just dip it out on a little teeny spoon or something?
Yeah.
How do you measure it, Tim?
Well, because you said a half a grain of rice.
Just get a toothpick and dab in there and chew on it.
Really?
Yeah. And back to the side effects. If you don't smoke pot, like my mom never has, don't be jumping into that stuff like without supervision.
Thank you.
Because my mom almost had to call 911 a few years ago.
She was paranoid.
Yeah, she couldn't get to the bathroom to either. Like she was, Danielle was saying.
She was high as hell.
But a week later, my mom didn't need a cane anymore.
Right.
So, but anyways, yeah, I had given her some once or twice, and it was fine. And then when I was not home one time, she got into it, and she took more for herself than I would have given her, and so she had to call my sister, Chelsea, and she came over and from the next room and basically helped her and calmed her down, and then my mom was like, well, I had some of that stuff Tim gave me, and because she thought she was maybe having a heart attack or some, she didn't really know.
She was high.
She's never smoked pot.
That's what it was.
And let me say
Cannabis.
for the record that I said that to draw out the truth about this mighty medicine, and that there are no side effects. No matter what commercial you see on TV for every single itch, pain, problem, I wish they had a money pill. I sure wish they would come up with a money pill. I might would take a money pill. If I could pop a money pill and a gang of loot, every time I pop that money pill, maybe I could get the 10 milligram portion of it, and every time I pop that 10 milligram, I get 10 million. That would be wonderful. But there's a pill for everything, and all of them have the most
worst,
dynamic. I'll say dynamic because they pop off in so many different areas of the body and how they react to stuff, and what you eat, and your level of activity, fitness, genetics, all those things. They can administer these pills, and as we all know, I mean, the side effects are worse than the cure. It seems at times.
Yeah, they say, take
so
this.
That's why I wanted to
take
pull that
this.
out.
For your dry eye syndrome or your restless leg syndrome. All these just meaningless diseases.
No, like then they'll tell you like
most side effects mild to moderate.
Right,
you know,
may cause bloody heart. I mean, heart palpitation, bloody heartbeat. You know,
or thoughts of suicide.
Hold on, gents. Hold on.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
We're all chemically imbalanced. Every single one of us.
We're a big bag of chemicals.
Because every single one of us
imbalanced.
Have nothing but chemicals in our brain, which we're lacking that cannabinoid. We're lacking that. We have what's called a third eye, and our third eye closes. I mean, this medicine is very, very, very important and powerful.
Yeah, all those side effects on all that pharmaceutical companies.
No side effects, no harmful side effects besides a ride high to the sky.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, in all fairness, to Big Pharma, or at least about Big Pharma, that there are some people who, probably because of a lifetime of some form of chemical addiction, that only Big Pharma could save at this point. And I don't say that cannabis can't, but because of the position of cannabis and the way it's administered, the confusion in this country that we have about it, you talk about this is a side note, a little non sequitur joke here. You talk about people who ingest cannabis being forgetful. How forgetful is America that cannabis grew along the Potomac River leading up to the White House? How forgetful are we that we don't even know to go online and just for all of you people out there, you first time listeners and naysayers, type in hemp for victory. Type in hempcrete. Hempcrete is another form, a stronger, more resilient, light as a feather form of cinder block like concrete.
Wow.
That in Germany they've used to build houses.
It turns as hard as a rock.
We are absolutely idiotic when it comes to
when they had a hemp flushing.
What's happened to this great plant and our ability to utilize it for so many things. All of our rope was made from hemp.
Toilet paper.
Man, I saw they have a flushing, a detox with hemp, a hemp flushing detox.
Yeah. And so, okay, so here we are now, half
what?
the country is saying yes. I think in 10, 15, 20 years, when we're still living off hemp oil, we'll see the change, and it'll be the whole country will come to its senses about.
But they still have
this issue.
But they still want to have population control, because that's why, like you said, an epidemic on the cancer, cancer, because that's why they're knocking down so many people. Once they get you trapped,
Agenda 21.
Like I said, my lady was diagnosed with the lung cancer. Right, all of a sudden they telling her, they say, oh yeah, well you got a year to live and blah blah blah. Well, if you got a year to live, that means I have a year to do what I got to do to get you right. But then they said we got to test all these different cells 100 times each, so we can find out which cells going to take to the chemo. And once they said that, I said, oh okay, we're gonna see you later, doc. Thanks a lot. We'll see you later.
Yeah,
Professor Griff here.
Professor, right? No, and then we call them Professor Progression. You know what I'm saying? All they're gonna do is make it progress.
That's Professor Riff, because he's riffing with the medical industry right now.
You know what I'm saying? I'm riffing with him. I'm like, we're gonna holler at you.
Intelligently tuned into a live episode of the Marijualogist. In the background, Redemption Sevenfold. We're featuring some of his music tonight.
Yeah.
One of my favorite tracks, number 6,
Freedom
by Joe Higgs, and the singer, the man himself, the big sexy Redemption Sevenfold. Me hope you're listening, brother. Hey, ladies, I want y'all to hold on. We got another half hour to go. Can you hang in there?
We're good.
Can you stay up this late?
Awesome.
Tim's sister, you rock.
All right.
Tim's sister, you rock.
Y'all just stay tuned. We'll be right back with you.
You should see her hit that speed bag in the gym.
Right back with the Marijualogist. Don't go away.
Regardless of the government, let us do something. Let us do something. Look out the riches of America to the poverty in Africa.
Yeah, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active. But lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. But I like my job. Just treat me better. Check on me. Give me something green to nibble on every once in a while. And maybe we can do some exercise on occasion. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, shout us out. What's the count? I'm your host. I am WDC. Tune in to WDC Radio on LA Talk Live every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time for sickle cell trait awareness, lupus, bullying, mental health, and all different aspects of life. So tune in to WDC Radio right here on LA Talk Live. Also, you can listen to us on iTunes, Live 365, YouTube, and Ustream. And don't forget Apple TV and Roku right here on LA Talk Live, where we're more than just talk. Shout us out. What's the count?
Gave you love, baby. You reward me with hate. I gave you all my bread. You offered me an empty
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to tonight's live episode of The Marijualogist, the world's only show that gets to the very root of the cannabis industry and the cannabis movement as it relates to the medical, social, political, economic, and even ecological impact of cannabis on LA, California, the globe, everywhere, man. It's spreading. Free the weed, MC. Yeah. Anyway, we have on the line two lovely ladies. Miss Raw, Danelle, are you still there?
I'm here.
Playing a little bit more of that incredible new CD by Redemption Sevenfold. Time is at Hand is the name of the CD. We went to the break with a track number 6, Freedom, and we came back with Stubborn Heart, which I'm dedicating to Big Pharma. You have such a stubborn heart. When you see the science is there, when you see that people are benefiting from it, why won't you just stop being so greedy and let the weed be free? Yeah? Sin? All right. Anybody agree with me on that?
I agree.
The government has a,
Free the weed.
Think about it. We're only halfway through the complete legalization and or medicinal access to cannabis for the rest of the country. I mean, we've got like 24, maybe 25 states, something like that. We've still got...
Oh, my state is so bad. It's so sad here.
Yeah, we still got a long way to go, in other words. And what is wrong with those governments' stubborn hearts? I mean, is it the greed for the big pharma kickbacks for all the politicians? Of course there is. We can speak, we can wax philosophically all night long about the, political system and all that kind of stuff and what's going on there. But the fact of the matter is the advocates have got to keep pushing. We got to keep on pushing.
We do have advocates, and they write letters to Washington, and Washington writes letters back saying they're scared of people that smoke weed out on the roadway. That was pretty much the only reason we saw in this letter that it's not illegal. It's a joke.
What's interesting about that is they're already out on the roadways with them. It's the people who are driving drunk that you got to worry about.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't people who've ingested cannabis in one form or another who haven't had a freak out. And I think that Tim made a very good point early on in the show in terms of you got to understand dosage when it comes to cannabis. Yeah, it's true that cannabis is stronger now. Yeah, it's true that farmers have more science behind the growing technology. Yeah, it's true that they can create very high levels of THC in the flower, and then what can be extracted therefrom. But the fact of the matter is, for every patient, there is a limit. Let's recognize that. You know, I never believed that water would kill you, but I've, of course, you know, learned otherwise. Yeah. That you can drink too much water and die.
Oh, yeah, believe it.
Too much of anything is not
Exactly.
good. Bottom line, we've heard that too many
Cannabis is
times.
safer than our water.
Safer than our water. I totally agree.
The problem
The point is just dosage is my point in it. You got to be careful of dosage. So let's talk about dosage a little bit. And I think, hold on one second, before we go there. Okay. We had another caller in the lab. I believe they dropped. Let's go to the Tim now. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, the problem with dosage is if you never smoked pot before in 70 years and you try taking cannabis oil, you might have a hard time.
Oh, yeah. You're gonna get buzz. You're going to get a real good buzz, especially if it's
in the beginning.
I have a question about that.
Okay.
This is Chelsea at Raw Princess on Twitter. For Timothy Theory, isn't there a way to use the medicinal qualities without the THC? A lot of people are doing that.
Yes, there is. They have a strains.
Is that still beneficial, or
What's her
is
question
it
again?
not good?
That's okay. She's asking me if high CBD count, low THC count is going to be effective. I personally prefer the THC and the cannabinoids, you know. But
because you like the psychoactive effect of it. There's
Right.
nothing
It's
wrong
stronger
with that.
medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I've test tried
true.
both, and I think that the high CBD strain that I had at the very beginning was the best out of them all. I was very level-headed, which I am now, but my body felt more alive. I was able to. I wasn't so sleepy.
Right.
That made me.
It's
It
kind of a
made
gray
me more
area to me.
awake and more happy. It was more of a antidepressant than what I'm on now.
Well, and that is it Princess Raw?
Yes.
Yes.
Raw
oh,
Princess.
Raw
Oh,
Princess.
Raw Princess. I'm sorry, but that was Chelsea speaking. Yes.
No,
that was Danelle.
Chelsea is Raw Princess.
No, my bad. Okay, so
can
I'm sorry. Too
find
many
us
names.
You got it mixed up.
All right, my
Twitter.
bad. It's
sorry.
It's the oil. No, hold on. I want to get I want to get back to Danielle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I asked you this before. We got some listeners tuning in for the first time. The audience grows throughout the show. You did avail yourself. You did use cannabis at some point in your processes, right? But how about growing up? Is that the case, or no?
Growing up as a kid, no, I stayed away from
Right.
everything. My mom and dad always said, you know, just stay away from those potheads.
Don't
They're
be
bad
a
kids.
pothead.
Don't be a
Yeah.
pothead.
Yeah, don't
Whole time they
associate
missing
with
out.
them. We don't do that kind of stuff. It's illegal. That was what I heard my whole life.
It's
so
evil.
No, I didn't.
Devil's weed.
Okay, so now I want to get to the second phase of your experience with cannabis, and that is when you started using it. Were you, and again, any part of this you can say, you know, you don't want to answer, but was there a process of where you used the flower more, or you went right to the oils and the extracts, or?
I never knew about the oil up until I met Tim, or I prayed.
Okay.
But I never knew about the oil, and before I met Tim, for the 3 years or the 2 years before that, I would smoke the
Okay.
flower,
All right.
but I didn't have any other choice because I wasn't as. I had no clue.
Now-
I just didn't see any of this coming.
Now, before I go to Tim to speak on it, the reason I'm inquiring is because that you have a preference for the high CBD instead of the high THC, and I, like Tim, prefer the high THC because I do like the psychoactive properties. At least I do. I did not know, Tim, that it is stronger. Is that what you said? That,
With the THC
that
and the CB and the
higher
HBD?
THC is a stronger form of the medicine. Is that true?
Like I said, I like the THC, the oil with. I haven't really tried any. Just CBD strains, but I had. I do know. I'm aware that they, like kids with epileptic seizures and stuff, they like to give them high CBD strains with no psychoactive ingredients in it. For instance, they have ACDC, the strain. They have Charlotte's Web, which is patented. patented for some reason. But anyways,
Monsanto.
Yeah,
that's the reason.
They give that stuff to kids or people that don't want the psychoactive effects, and it helps them with stops their seizures. Okay, so you know, and that might be the route that somebody is going to want to take.
Right.
You know, and I'm not going to be here, but to say that's they need, you know, because that works for them. Hey, it works for them. But go ahead.
Massive cancer tumors need the highest strain of THC you can get. Unless you have an amazing medicine maker, as Tim, you need a very, very high THC strain.
Really? What is that?
I almost think it's because cancer, and we treat normal plagues like our infections and all this other with a low CBD. You want that to top the THC. The cancer, because I wonder if it's not because it's chemically induced, and because this is a plant, and you have to remember that God did give us this plant. So
Healing of the nations.
I think it's treating a total different aspect of what, you know what I mean?
Danielle, I think that was very poignant that you said God gave us this plan, and Tim responded to that. Tim,
healing of the nations.
Healing of the nations.
Straight up.
Ikkor.
Yes.
I'm feeling good. To speak
Powers that be don't like it, but oh well.
No, I'm just saying I'm feeling good over here. You know, just like really feeling good. I don't know if it's psychological.
Stay on your Michael.
I don't know if it's psychological. Yeah. But something is happening.
Right. It's psychological. Anyway, Danielle, how are you today?
I am level-headed. I am up to 9. I can't hit that 100 mark. I was down below 90 pounds when I started, but I'm at 99 point something.
But have you always been a small lady?
I have no masses, no tumors. I've had no infections. Actually starting to heal the rest. I lost all my teeth, so the few teeth that I do have left, I've been rubbing the oil on, and it's bringing my teeth back.
Talk so well.
My skin color is beautiful.
What's your nationality?
Excuse me?
I was saying, what's your nationality? Because you said my skin is so beautiful, and it's I was that.
Oh, he's got. I think we have a love connection. Let's just announce it. I think we got a love. Hey, listen.
No, just the voice behind the face behind the voice.
You happen to be hearing the voice of a gentleman who, in fact, was most intrigued by your weight, despite the country's idea about Los Angeles. There are a lot of thick and heavy-set women out here, and so maybe he, is intrigued by that 99-pound physique that you are sporting about these days.
Sweet Pea,
be proud of that.
They get it legalized down there. This regulates their weight, so those big girls will lose all that. They won't have to have surgery.
I know that's right. Have you always been a petite lady?
See, there he goes. He's delving in. He's going in. Timothy's going in.
I weighed about 115. Well, 115, 126, but I was always a very muscular and busy girl.
Oh, okay.
So
that's a good weight too.
This is really an underweight thing that I've suffered from since I was a kid, back and forth.
No, that's a good weight.
100 to 115.
That's a good weight. If you become a regular listener here on our network, this isn't the only type of business we do. Exactly. We have all types of broadcasts, all types of shows. One in particular I want to reference is the Dr. Levi show, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. He's had cancer patients in, although Dr. Levi is relatively opposed to the concept of medicinal cannabis or cannabis in any regard. He's had patients in, and they've talked about their recovery as well. But most importantly, what he imparts to people on a weekly basis, and he's quite the specimen himself physically, he says, love the body you're in. Accept the body you're in. I bet you're probably younger than me, and my body has transformed from the young, svelte, muscular gentleman I used to be to this slightly svelte, a little softer, older gentleman that I am.
Muscular guy.
But I still am working on them, though, the guns.
Nice.
Point being, love the body you're in, because you're in it for the time you're here. True.
The Rick Simpson oil brings the fountain of youth.
Right.
Tell him, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Ghetto Fitness.
Again.
All right.
And let's give a shout to Ghetto Fitness. I hear Chelsea,
Tell him, Chelsea.
You
Ghetto
over there at
Fitness.
Ghetto Fitness, man, getting it in.
Chelsea's gone. She must
No,
have
she's still there. I think she's.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Hi, Chelsea.
I'm here.
Are you sipping on that oil?
Yeah, I was going to ask if Chelsea
I'm
don't
not.
do anything. Huh?
Have you drained it down to a syrup and you sipping there on it?
No,
Okay.
I have not. I just was waiting, enjoying listening, and it's
quite a show,
just want
huh?
to hear more from Tim, and you guys are awesome.
All right, so let's you and me shut up, Ikkor, and now, Tim, we're going to swing back to you.
Now back to Tim.
I want to get
Ladies
to
and
the
gentlemen.
oil
Guys are letting loose
again
here.
because I'm quite intrigued by the oil. And, without, again, divulging any information that you don't want to share with our listeners, so it's not a gelatin. It's not a chewable, that nonsense, although perhaps one could apply it to. It is very potent and very effective as a medicine, so you have to be careful of dosage. You can administer it with something as simple as a toothpick and just an itty-bitty bit. I heard Danielle say a half a grain of rice. That's very, very
Powerful.
little.
And that's powerful.
Very potent.
Wow.
But when the thing is, though, is you want to consume, I believe it's 60 grams of Rick Simpson oil in about 2 or 3 months, I think.
That's
2
Right.
or 3 months.
To treat cancer.
You're supposed to, but not in the beginning. You don't take a gram a day, but you work up to that, and after like 2 weeks, you start doubling your dosage really frequently.
After what? After 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your goal is to get up to about a gram a day, and that's a pretty much. You want to take it a few times a day.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot of side effects, like you're going to want to sleep a lot. And that's
And what's wrong with that?
That's
Sleep
your body healing itself.
is
And it's
restorative.
your body, it needs that rest, and it needs to do that. And it's
Right.
not to. A lot of people say, oh, I don't want to be sleepy all the time, but hey, you won't be sleepy all the time if you take it more.
Right, because I think you said something earlier, or somebody was speaking earlier. Because, like I said, it attacks your nervous system and everything. Like when the cancers and stuff, especially when it goes from lung cancer, then it raises to your brain, and it attacks your nervous system, and you get to being like a little man, you just be like, I mean, I don't know. It's just you're not in your right state of being, you know.
Well,
and would it shut that? Would it stop that? That's the whole thing. Would it stop those particular kind of convulsions of shakes? You know what I mean? Does it do that?
Hyperactivity, let's call it. Yeah.
You know.
What? How
Motor
much do they
skills.
start with, though, for someone who's never taken? This is Rick Simpson oil,
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Jack
How
Harris-
much would they start with safely? Would you say for someone who's never had any type
Pin drop.
A pinhead drop, size of a
Okay.
pinhead. And if you're a big guy or small, you might basically like a pinhead size will be okay for my mom. So anybody
A
else will
pinhead
be.
size.
But anybody,
Someone who has
that
a low
person
tolerance for
would
the
take
psychoactive
it
effects.
2
Right,
to 3
in other
times
words.
a day until they get up into a gram. Did you say?
Yes, and it all
That's for
depends on what your
chronically
tolerance
ill.
is. It depends on what your tolerance is. If you don't smoke pot, you're going to have, or weed, or let's call it cannabis.
Cannabis.
If you don't smoke cannabis or consume it at all, your body's going to be, your tolerance level is going to be really low. So what might not, for somebody here might not be what somebody over here needs,
Right.
or tolerates. I can tolerate a lot.
you got to gauge
When
it.
my dogs died, I took a pea-sized chunk, so I could sleep because I was in shock.
Right.
But if you start small, and a pinhead size will work for anybody.
I want to get back to the issue of sleep and the notion that people who use cannabis are, stoners, sleepy, lazy, whatever. Of course, that was how cannabis was demonized, even as far back as, the early days of this country. But the fact of the matter is this country is sleep deprived. There are copious studies available to people to look at. I mean, copious documentaries that talk about the fact that we are sleep deprived as a nation.
Yes.
And put on top of that the stress that we endure, not just from our jobs or our lifestyles, but even environmentally, all the toxins that our bodies have to fight. Sleep is so necessary, is so much more necessary in this country than the idea like just keep driving and working and killing yourself. Maybe you need to take a pea-size chunk of this oil, some of you listeners out there,
Yeah.
and just go out for about a couple of days, and you'll come out of that, God willing, with some really good restorative health, and possibly some great ideas from all the dreams you'll have. And dream is important. Dream represents REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep. That's deep dreaming. That's
Exactly.
deep sleep.
That's
That's when your body
You're beyond
heals
30
itself.
minutes of
I
sleep then.
saw a documentary recently about this, and we are so sleep deprived that, listen, listeners, ain't nothing wrong with some sleep.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Well, and then speaking of which, let me just get off on the tangent real quick of indicas and sativas. Indicas and sativas, right? Indicas are more of a physical body reaction.
Couch lock.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay. And sativas are more of a more
Cerebral.
stimulating.
Cerebral head,
Thank you very much.
Cerebral.
So if you don't like laying around but do want to avail yourselves of the medical benefits or recreational benefits of cannabis, seek sativas, and that's not what you buy off the homeboy on the street, because those are mostly indicas. If you ask me.
Believe it.
The oil itself, though, does that distinction apply to the oil itself?
I'm sure that it makes a big difference of what kind of strain you're making your oil out of. Like,
Do you make
It depends on what you're treating.
the oil that you referenced earlier? Give us the name again.
Rick Simpson.
Rick Simpson oil?
All right, so the Rick Simpson oil.
No kin to OJ.
Is that a sativa or indica or anything like that, or is that independent
That's
of those?
just oil that you
breakdowns?
make out of cannabis.
Okay.
Buds or trimmings or whatever, and it's just going to all concentrate down, and whatever you start out with is pretty much
So
what
it's
you're going to
likely
get.
to be a hybrid then.
You could actually get the AC/DC or the
Quiet Riot.
Charlotte's Web. These are two high CBD strains known
Yeah, I
for
heard
taking
of
care of
Charlotte's Web.
kids with low THC that have no psychoactive. Charlotte's Web's half hemp. Okay, it doesn't even get you high.
Yeah, I heard
Right.
shot as well.
So you could take that stuff and you can make oil out of it too, and it's going to have a higher CBD count than it's going, than THC, and that's just you get what you put in, you get out of it what you put in. So if you use a super duper strain, you're going to have super duper, or you're going to have something that doesn't get you really that high. It's just going to get you kind of the CBDs, and. I'm not too experienced with just the CBD only thing, but I know there's a process using CO2 and other things where you can extract all the THC out of the material so that there is none in there when you have the CBD oil only. And those are for people that don't want the psychoactive effects, like kids. They're not giving kids the psychoactive oil. They're just giving them the ones that's high in CBDs, because the CBDs don't get you high, and they do some stuff for you too.
It's an amazing feeling, and no matter what, it's not going to kill you.
Right.
It's not going to kill you.
It may just have you paranoid for me, like, oh my God, I need to come down.
Yeah. That's
And
the main side effect.
And it's known to shrink the
tumors.
tumors.
And then you just go, oh, well, I took too much, and I better not do that again.
And it's known to shrink the tumors.
Yep. I had a dog that had a big tumor in his neck. A lot of you might remember, if you're following me from my from the internet or whatever, I had this dog with a huge tumor in his neck.
Stay on your mic.
And I gave him some cannabis oil, and over 2 months it shrunk by 2/3. I have pictures of it. I don't know.
Do you want to? We didn't get a chance to pull those up before
That's
the show.
okay.
You want to
That's
talk
all right,
about?
but just take my word for it. It's not
Right.
We take your word.
You want to send them to your Facebook or no?
What's that?
You want to send them to your Facebook page?
Send what?
Send our listeners to your Facebook page to see the results. No more oil for you, Tim.
You can do that if you want.
It's up to you if you want to.
Facebook.com/Timothy Theory. It's a private page, so you're going to have to friend me to check it out. But you could do that if you wanted.
Now, I would like to leave our listeners with the education and helping them understand. I sound like Bill Cosby right now.
Helping them understand about pudding pops.
All right. So I want to leave our listeners with the knowledge of what CBD means and THC means. Can anyone speak to that?
Well, CBD is cannabinoids.
Yeah, cannabinoids.
THC is a tetrahydrocannabinol, whatever it is.
Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Right.
And that's that psychoactive part of plant. And you know, we haven't mentioned yet that the government, the Department of Health and Human Services, our buddies, has patented the active ingredients in marijuana back in 2004, and they still say that there's no medicinal value into this plant, and basically that's a lie, because they know for a fact what this does. And they're positioning and jockeying themselves right now. The monopoly men, they're getting ready to make it so that you have to have permits for growing or transporting or growing in a greenhouse or growing indoors or growing outdoors. You're going to need a permit, they're saying. And there's going to be all these restrictions. Like I say, if you have a growing permit, you can't have a transporting permit, both. So you got to give that to somebody else. And so, but I don't see Monsanto or Philip Morris or any of these big companies. I don't think they're going to have any restrictions.
Right.
So basically, it's going to be like all you little mom and pops guys. You're going to have all these little licenses next year, as of January 1st, and the license to get to be able to handle cannabis oil, what we're talking about here today, is going to be so rare and so hard to get that nobody's going to have it. Okay. So what does that mean? What that means is somebody's going to, Big Pharma or whoever, they're going to come in here and they're going to start, you know, being the main guy that has the ability to possess that stuff. And you know what? I don't agree with that.
No, because the Rick Simpson oil, the one that is actually really being proven to treat all these people, that really truly needs to be made by the person in themselves. If you want that medicine, you should be able to make it yourself. Rick Simpson tells people in his video, Run from the Cure, not to trust anybody, make it yourself. There's a reason he has that medicine in his video, and there's a reason he says that. So,
remember your disclaimers.
How are we going to get that medicine if they don't make it available?
Well, the medicine is threatened, okay? That's why I'm here. I'm here to do the show. I've never been on the radio or TV or done anything like this before.
This is the first.
This is my debut. Okay?
Round of
the reason
applause
I'm
for
here,
that, for sure. Hold on.
I know that.
Wait for it.
This is his first time, Tim Theory.
All right, enough of that.
But thanks a lot. But I'm really worried about this, where it's headed, okay? And basically, everybody should be able to make their own cannabis oil without having a special permit, okay? Come on, people. What do we want to have that for? That's bogus.
Right.
I think that what I see happening is it's going to become legal, and that's going to mean like all these regulations, and people it's like I said, the oil permit is going to go only out to a few people, and it's going to be quote unquote impossible to get. Okay,
right.
So all of us are having fun
Like
now, but as of January 1st, Big Pharma is going to shut the door on us.
Like the old
marijuana
marijuana stamp. Huh?
Oh, Mr. Mom and Pop, hello, welcome to Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030 now.
Wow, I just spoke about it. Somebody just called me today about Agenda 21 this afternoon.
Yep. So that's what's going on. And then if you guys notice, there was a lot of fires in Northern California, and they didn't even try and put them out too much. And most of my property burned. And the guys had the fire contained for 20 hours to within an acre, and then the feds pulled them all off, the volunteer guys, and they said, oh, you don't need to be here anymore. And the next thing you know, there was 400-foot flames rolling down the hill towards my house, and 200 properties burned in a matter of hours. And this has happened not in just my area, but it happened in Humboldt County, and it happened to other places, and it happened to places, rancher country, up in Oregon. People were saying, hey, these fires and stuff, or there's something fishy about them. There's all these conspiracies on the internet saying, oh, there's these guys setting fires, and the government is trying to burn people out. Well, this is kind of where I want to conclude the show is, we are going to have to fight. If we're going to have our cannabis oil and the cure of cancer and the healing of the nations, we're going to have to fight for it. We're not going to just be given it when it's legalized. It's not going to just be handed. We're not going to be able to do that anymore. Legalization is going to shut this down if we're not careful. And we need to do something about it. We need to bring awareness to this whole thing, because Big Pharma, Monsanto, whoever it is, those guys are taking over. Okay. They're taking over this whole market, and they're going to shut
patent on
little
the
guys
seeds.
down. And if you have that cannabis oil, you're going to be treated as if you have methamphetamine or you got
Exactly.
heroin, and you're just trying to heal yourself. There's a big danger right now,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And we all need to be aware of this, what's going on, and the jockeying, the positioning going on, where, you know, the powers that be, Big Pharma, whatever, they don't want you to have this. I'm jeopardizing myself by coming on your show talking about this, and, you know...
Well, with that said, Tim, I want to ask you a question, and I don't mean to take you to task about it, but where's the battle going to be waged? I mean, we've been on the air with this show for going on 6 years now, and I believe that the digital, you know, world is a place where we can get our voices heard without FCC regulation, without, you know, big corporate America telling the network what we can and cannot say. So I think this is at least one part of the battlefield where we can wage this war. It really is about awareness and consciousness.
Yes.
I remember there used to be a lot of great groups here in LA that were, you know, like we had a LA division of Oaksterdam. They're closed now. I don't even hear about Don Duncan and Americans for Safe Access as much as I used to. I'm not on the scene as much, but I never was. It was really all about this broadcast because I recognized right from the start, the moment I became a patient, within like 2 weeks, I realized, wow, there's no radio show talking about the cannabis industry as vibrant as this industry is. The best experiences I've had in retail, going into a retail storefront, especially a small retail storefront, those experiences were had in medical cannabis dispensaries and collectives. Like, the people treated me well. If I was a first-time patient, they gave me something free. I loved that stuff. And all throughout my experience, it's all been positive. Well, mostly. I mean, there are some new jacks who come on the scene, especially after the flush that the city did, you know, back to the original 187. They closed down a gang of collectives. They shut everybody down in the so-called sensitive use areas. And, you know, one of the sensitive use areas was near nursing homes you couldn't be. I'm like, of all places to put a cannabis dispensary, let the seniors walk.
Let the seniors
be able
free.
to walk to the collective and avail themselves of its medicinal benefits. But all that said, where else are we going to wage the war? So if this is your first time on the battle, if this is your first time on the battlefield, here's a place you can start a lawsuit, get a crowd fund going, get a signature campaign going, because you're reaching millions with one word. You know, so here's the place. Suit up, soldier. We're going to need you. You know, and we thank you for coming, man, and joining us here on the show.
No doubt.
Now,
Right on.
I want to swing the mic to you guys to close out the show. Tim, I think as we're wrapping out the show, we've gotten the real Timothy theory to come out, man, because I feel your passion.
Yeah.
And you're scaring me because I live in this bubble of optimism, thinking that, no, it's all going to be cool, man.
No.
It's all going to be groovy.
No.
That's not true.
That's not true.
They did let your property burn.
Well,
and many others.
That's kind of depends on how you look at it. But I had well, a friend of mine told me that he has a friend in an intelligence community, and he warned me in February, warned us that there was a natural disaster plan for my area, and to break our wallets and to basically, you know, right before legalization. There's 2 votes next year on legalization in California, one by the legislature and one by the people. And what's going on now is all these rules that are happening are being inserted, are being passed by supervisors of your county. So you got to pay real attention to the supervisors in your county, because the supervisors in my county I don't like, and they're doing bad stuff. And I hope to get somebody in there that I have 2 or 3 friends running for supervisor. Hopefully they can win, because they're going to do a better job. But I'm not here to, you know, pump any names up or anything. But the thing is this, is the supervisors of your county are the ones that have all the power. They issue out who gets paid. They set the head sheriff's salary. Okay, so basically they go in there and they say, like, starting January 1st, in my county you can only grow 1 plant per acre. Now, my doctor says I need a lot more than that for annually my use. And so the supervisors have come into conflict with what my doctor says, and their supervisors are not medical doctors. So these non-medical doctor people are going in there and they're saying, when the Supreme Court says that there can be no crime without an injured party or a corpus delicti, they're going to make, and the Supreme Court says you can't convert a right into a privilege. They go in there and say, hey, you know what, America, you guys, I know you passed medical marijuana, but we're going to make you into criminals now if you possess as much as your doctor says you can have. And that's what's going on. And if people are going to stand up and do something about it, they're going to have to do class action lawsuits against their supervisors, their sheriffs, and whoever else wants to come on their property and seize private property without due process of law, which is illegal. And basically, you know, you're going to have to fight them tooth and nail.
There you have it.
I'm ready. I'm here.
But we want to do this in a peaceful way.
No doubt.
We're here.
Well, you know, we're going to do
this is the peaceful way.
Yeah, we want to bring
Let your
awareness
voices
to
be
it.
heard.
We want people to know about this. And, you know, there's lawsuits right now in 3 counties in Northern California over this. Class action lawsuits. There's other stuff going on.
Anybody out there who's listening who want to find out more about these lawsuits, is there a place they can go online? Or are there some references, or is that something maybe you can put up later?
Yeah, I
on
could
your
put
Facebook
something. I could
page?
put something
we'll
up
share it
later.
for you.
There's an attorney that just filed suit in I believe Shasta and Mendocino and Butte counties. He's basically suing them right now, and he just announced it last week. So
yes, follow his Facebook page at Facebook Timothy Theory, and follow him. Also, I am retweeting everything you guys are saying at Raw Princess on Twitter. I'm tweeting a lot of that and tagging all 3 of you.
And share that
on Ikkor and Richard Karr, the Marijualogist.
And share that on our Twitter page. Our Twitter page is LA Talk Live. LA Talk Live. We got a Twitter page too, you know. And everything with us, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is all LA Talk Live.
Okay, I've been tagging you on Facebook all day long.
Cool. Thank you. Good.
I can go ahead and tag LA Talk Live now.
Very good.
Right.
Yep, LA Talk Live Twitter as well.
Thank you, Rob Princess.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Love you all. Love you guys.
Love you
This
too.
is the peaceful revolution.
Exactly.
I just wanted to give a shout out to the bonobos at Dr. Susan Block, who's also on Facebook.
Big ups to Dr.
Dr.
Susan Block.
Susan Block. We love Bonoboville over
People
there.
love Doctor, yeah.
We love Bonoboville. We gave
Shout
them
to the captain.
We actually gave them a nice little segment on a couple of our shows in the past couple of weeks. We gave them a nice, probably like a 5-7 minute little segment, you know, speaking about Bonobo. It was pretty nice.
Yeah, and shout to the captain over there. You know who
Captain
you are.
Mizzle.
And my
Max.
main man, Loser.
Captain Max, I hope you guys are going. They've got a room at Bonoboville tonight at the hotel for Timothy Theory. They've got it all ready.
Tim, get over there. You're going to love it.
They didn't get the permit in time to bring the limo over, so hopefully you guys can get him over there.
I got a Cadillac. That's taking them over there.
Okay.
But I'd just like to finish this off and say that I make all statements without prejudice and with the full reservation of rights pursuant to UCC 1-308. And if you don't know what that means, you might want to figure what that means.
Or don't fuck with him, because he know what it means.
He know what it means. You dig?
And so does Danelle. Danelle makes all statements without prejudice too, right, Danelle?
There you go.
Absolutely.
Disclaimers.
Could you say it more slowly, or can we copy that from somewhere?
Yeah, I make all statements without prejudice, with a full reservation of rights, pursuant to UCC 1-308. UCC 1-308 is called a reservation of rights. You see that when the movie theaters credits roll, they say all rights reserved. And basically, when you say, the Supreme Court says if you use the term without prejudice, then nothing you say can be used against you as evidence in a court of law.
Without
prejudice.
UTC S1308.
UCC Uniform Commercial Code. Uniform Commercial Code 1-308. All rights reserved.
Hey, listen, you don't even need to write it down. You don't need to write it down. You don't need to write it down. All you need to do is go back to Ustream or YouTube and listen to the replay. because all this is live to tape. So you'll be able to go back and watch this at your leisure. We'll even be running reruns later tonight. So stay tuned for that.
Good.
And Ikkor will share the post. Absolutely. So yeah, you guys will be able to share this on your websites, on your social networks, the whole nine. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Raw Princess and Danielle.
Thank you so much, Danelle.
Thank you, Ikkor. Thank you, Richard Karr.
Thank you, everybody.
Siri and Danielle.
We'll talk to you ladies soon. Hopefully you'll join us again on another live edition of the Marijualogist. Ikkor, any final words? What you got going on?
I just want to thank God for this whole opportunity. Thank God for allowing us to be here, have all these great people here, get all this great information. I'm definitely going to take it home to my lady, and we're going to definitely cure her from this cancer and get her on, out the way with all these treatments that we have for her. And shout out to Eunice Pre. That's who my lady is out there suffering right now. But we got you, baby.
You're going to be all right, mama. We got you.
Shout out to all the family over there.
God
Karen, if you're watching. You dig? Tease all y'all out there in San Pedro. My people in Detroit, Michigan. And everybody who I know in all the productions that I'm in right about now. Love y'all.
And a rousing round of applause for Timothy Theory.
Timothy
came a long way and, came out tonight, man, and kicked the truth. And we love you for that, brother.
I spoke with Timothy for probably 2 hours the other night. I was just intrigued. We just was going back and forth. Man, it was fascinating.
All right, so folks, thank you for joining us tonight as well. Round of applause to our audience out there. Be sure to stay tuned again when we'll join you for another live edition.
Thank you so much for letting me be here and talk and
indeed
do my thing, and God bless everybody.
All right, we'll see you next time, folks. Stay tuned.
This your one, you're in a nice, you're not high. The one when you my eyes will freeze your brains to the sky. Won't hear me now, and when me come around the corner, heroin make you turn in a them freak rasta. When you lick a ball of crack, me say me no know where you are deeper. Why you might get dead by a shop or tractor. If you take a snort of coke, me say that no joke. It make a man lick up your head and you a take it for joke. Who no legalize the herb? I wanna get rid of them system, them my friend.
Thank you for tuning in to LA Talk Live, reality radio handcrafted for your listening pleasure. This is LA Talk Live, and we're more than just talk.